All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talk the Ting.
Good
Tonight
evening,
we're gonna.
guys.
Good evening, Mr. Hadley. How you doing? How was your day today?
Man, my day was pretty boring, I'll
Well,
say.
you sound very enthusiastic, my brother. What's going on? You all right? You want to talk to
No,
somebody?
man.
Everything all right?
Nah, I want to talk here. I want to talk the thing right here.
Yeah,
That's what I
man.
wanted.
Yeah, man. So tonight we're gonna have a very interesting show. It's gonna be what we're gonna call fitness focus with Mr. Hilroy Alfred and Miss Katian Henderson. Short Kati for short. This is what I'll be calling her. That's what I know her my whole life. Um, but before we start, we have a couple of little housekeeping items we want to go over with the viewers. Um, Couple announcements. So one, tonight will be the penultimate episode to the first season of Talk the Thing. Next week, Wednesday will be our last episode for season one. We just wanted to make sure that we are giving everybody all the information. Um, we have really enjoyed all of the people who have been looking forward every Wednesday night to to watching the show, to learning some stuff with us. We're learning as much as you guys are learning. So we'll be taking a short break of about 6 weeks, and we'll be back mid-October for our season two. Um, with that said, we do appreciate everybody tuning in to Talk the Thing, and we want to make sure that we show that appreciation, right? And we want this to be an interactive show. We don't want it to just be us coming up with things for you guys. So if you guys have any ideas, if you guys have any feedback on season one, if you guys have any, suggestions and pointers that you might want to give to us, we would gladly appreciate that. You could message us on our Instagram. You could message us on our Facebook. You could message us on our email. I will give that information in the chat as well. Um, if you guys have any suggestions on as to potential guests or people that you guys want to know about, because again, the show, as much as we are learning, the show is for you, not necessarily for us, right? It's for all of us, but we are trying to make this an educational thing. We are trying to make this something that could give positive and add value to your life. So if there's anybody that you think might be a good addition to the show, going moving forward, let us know. Like I said, Instagram, Facebook, and well again, Instagram, Facebook, and okay, I freeze. But anyway, I'll give you guys the information.
On YouTube.
No, oh, that's another thing. So now we're gonna have all our episodes on YouTube within the coming weeks. I'm not going to give you guys a solid date, but within the coming weeks, we're gonna have all the episodes loaded on YouTube. So if you guys want to, go back and watch it and check it out, you guys could do that. We're gonna, we're not gonna be editing too much. We're gonna give you the real deal of the interviews. Hopefully you guys will see some progress with us as host, and you guys will love to watch and learn some stuff again. And if anybody missed any episodes, that'll be a great way for you to go back and watch some of the episodes. All right. So with that said,
Hold on.
go ahead.
One more by way of announcements. In case y'all haven't noticed, Dwayne and I are wearing merch from the Booyah Queen, Carlin XP,
Oh my word.
Booyah Army. So we'd just like to let you guys know that this week's episode of Talk the Thing is sponsored by Carlin XP and Musical Therapy with Carlin XP. Don't forget to check out her music on every single streaming platform. Check out her YouTube channel. Check her out every Sunday from 5 p.m. on Carlin XP's Facebook page. And if you're interested in getting the Oh My Word vest that Dwayne is wearing, or the Booyah Army t-shirt that I'm wearing, check out shop.carlinxp.com for all your Carlin XP merchandise.
All right. So, Mr. Hilroy and Miss Kati. I'm not gonna call you Katian. Katian sound weird to me. Welcome to Talk the Thing. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good night, good night, good night.
Good
How you
night.
doing?
Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome.
Listen, you guys, the way you guys answer me, there's like you just do a kind of a 2 hour workout and or you have no energy and what's going on?
All you,
The energy to start yet, doing you have to
all
give us
you,
a chance. It's just like fitness. We go through a warm up and then we hit it hard.
All
that's
right,
it.
all right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
Before we continue, I mean, I'm always
Before we
talking about it. People, get your drinks.
Oh
It
God.
could be water. It could be a soft drink. It could be a hard drink. It could be a beer.
Well, this is a fitness show, so we're promoting water tonight.
You can
Yeah.
tell,
Got it.
you can tell, you
Exactly.
can tell,
We're promoting water tonight.
you can tell who that is fitness and who not. Eh?
You can tell.
Exactly.
We're going,
Exactly.
You can yeah.
We cannot change the theme of the show. Tonight
we're
is not
going-
booyah.
Fitness focus. Remember.
Clearly-
Fitness
clearly we're going to
focus.
need-
Focus.
Clearly, we're going to need all your advice.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
hello.
yeah, yeah.
Let me go get some water. Yeah. Oh,
Hey.
what's that? Look at water there. Look at that water.
Well,
How long
I
that
don't-
they're doing?
Oh, it's been a while. Yeah, man. So
all right. My
welcome,
apologies.
welcome to
for
Talk
not
the
having
Ting.
water.
Welcome to Talk the Ting. You know, it's great to have you guys on the show.
Pleasure to be
You
here.
guys are our first double guest episode, so you know we're really looking forward to talking to you guys. And you know, if again, one thing before we start, anybody who has any questions, anything you guys can ask in the comments. We'll try our best to get it to the guests and you know try to put those questions to them. We obviously be screening those questions because we're not gonna ask them some kind of questions or to put it in the chat. But you know, with that said, so let's start with ladies first.
Of course.
Kati, give us a little background on yourself. Tell us how you kind of got involved in, you know, fitness and, you know, your passion for what you do.
Ben, you and your catty story. We're not.
No. I don't call you Katian. I don't call you Katian. It's Katian. Anyway. Every time I say Katian, it's some weird.
Um. So, I am currently in my third year on my journey. No, I'm in my second year. I was in September. Well, next month I will be. It will be 3 years since I started my own personal journey to better myself, fitness and health. I started back in September of 2017. Not necessarily the first time I started, to be quite honest. I initiated this journey a million times over without much success. You know, it's not a very easy journey. It's very easy to quit. But in September 2017, I made a commitment to myself to stick to this at least until I saw results, and I have not stopped since. So it was, September of 2017. I was on a train ride to work and scrolling through Instagram, and I saw some girl with, she posted a photo, and she captioned it, you don't have to lose your curves to be fit, something to that effect. And for some reason that captivated me, that caught my attention. And I'm like, okay, it was towards the end of, it was after, it was coming up to Labor Day. I'm like, you know what, after Labor Day, I'm gonna get on this, fitness thing. You know, after Labor Day, all the sundresses and the crop tops and all of that is over, right? So I've already done past this. I'm like, you know what? Next year is gonna be, it's gonna meet a new me for summer. And that was that. I started shortly after my son's birthday in September of 2017, and I kept going. I mean, here I am. I think a year into my fitness journey, I realized that I was developing a great passion for fitness. And the more I educated myself on my own, because I wanted, things were not working at a certain time and they were a certain time. So in an effort to better myself and to get more of what I was putting in, I picked the internet to educate myself on, because fitness is a science, weight loss is a science, right? So I seek to educate myself on what different avenues I can take to get to the goal that I want to get to. And the more I read up and the more I researched, I realized that, wait, this is something I actually like to do. So I started to document my journey through Instagram, and then boom, I found myself on course to becoming a personal trainer because my passion for fitness and the willingness and the need to help others, to share whatever I learned and my experience, it just kept on growing and it brought me great satisfaction. So it was that's what led to Fit Cat Bar.
Fit Cat Bar.
Fit Cat Bar.
Nice, nice.
So Hilroy, how about you? How did rough training come
My
into
story,
existence?
my story would never be as nice and pretty as Cat own.
That's okay.
I would like it. I would like it to be that nice and pretty, but unfortunately, mine wasn't like that. For those of you that don't know Hilroy Alfred, I'm the one of rough training. Um, I am from Dominica. I know a lot of people don't know that. You don't get confused. I still have my accent. I maybe just developed a new one. But from Dominica, I left Dominica 2006. I came to Angola. Um, when I finished school in 2010, I was always athletic. I took part in a lot of sports, running, cricket, basketball, everything. But my main sport was basically cricket. And I got picked for the Leeward Islands under 15 team. Um, I think it was in Trinidad we went. We either went to Trinidad or St. Kitts. And obviously we was playing against the Windward, which is Dominica. And we had like 5 games to play. I was the opening bowler. And when we came to play the game against Dominica, obviously I'm excited. I haven't seen my friends. Jelani was part of the team. So obviously I want to prove a point now. I left home because I used to play cricket in Dominica. I left home.
Right.
I'm to the next island. Obviously I want to beat Dominica. That is my, the plan is to beat Dominica. And it just so happened that game, the coach made me sat out. He benched me for that game.
Whoa.
And I mean, when they call out the starting team, I was like, what? And obviously I didn't question it and so on, but
So he wasn't even 12 man.
pain. And I mean, I didn't cry because, obviously I trying to hold the composure. Jelani right across
Boy,
the pavilion watching me. The Dominica squad right across the pavilion watching me. So I cannot cry and I just sit down there and after a while I remember I started limping because I wanted to pretend like I had an injury. That's why I couldn't play. that is how embarrassed I was hardly at that point because I tried like it's Dominica. I think it was in Trinidad. I think it was Trinidad. And after the game, I asked the coach when all of us came together as a group, the coach could see that I wasn't saying much. And he was like, Hilroy, you're a very good bowler. I'm sitting you out for the rest of the tournament. So that was actually, I think our second game. I played one game and we had 3 more games to play. And he was like, I'm sitting you out for the rest of the tournament. So I was like, why? He said, I'm a very good bowler, but I'm the most unfit player he's ever met. He was like,
wow.
Because I know it. Like normally, if you follow cricket, like a pace bowler, the opening bowler is somebody that, it comes with a lot of energy. You bring a lot of energy to the team. It's a short momentum that you create a lot of force. So you got to have a certain level of stamina because you bowl in multiple overs. Sometimes 5 overs a game, depending on the type of game. And my first over would be good. And after that, my second over, it just keeps decreasing. My energy level just keeps decreasing. And that's not something that average pace bowler should have.
Right.
And when he told me that, obviously I took that to heart. And when I got back to Angola now, came back down and, I was speaking to the coach of Angola team. And he brought me into the gym. He paid the first 3 months for me. And he told me I need to start, working on my stamina and so on. After maybe the first 3 months hardly, I think it's just one person on Facebook or a girl tell me, boy, Hilroy, your arms looking nice. I never go back on the cricket field after that. That was it. Hardly. After the first comment, he was like, Hilroy, boy, your arms looking nice. A comment, something I'd post or something, and then they're like, what? You looking buff? And I was like, what? I never went back on the cricket field. That was the end of the cricket field for me, And obviously, I got more into it, doing a lot more research. And after a while, I realized, like, I want to help people. I want to help people. Forget about just myself now. I wanted to help people. I had a passion for helping people. Even before I started from, the training aspect of it, I knew that I wanted to help people, from working as a bartender to working in hotels and, all of that kind of thing. I knew that I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that eventually I want to help people. That's what I knew. And I had a plan. Obviously, I had a plan. And when I got into it more, I told my mother that just pay for this course for me, and that is it. And for her, obviously, it's like you just wanted to be a cricketer. You wanted to be Brian Lara. You wanted to be a big cricketer, and now you come to me with a different plan. You want to be a personal trainer. You want to go into fitness. So for her, it was like bizarre. But obviously, I convinced her. She paid for that course. And after I passed that course, I became a personal trainer and I started. And then rough training came into play because I got the name rough from bikes. I used to ride bikes, race bikes, stunts bikes. So everyone used to call me rough. So I just branched the two together, combined the two together, rough training. That was 2013. It's 2020. I've never worked for someone since 2013. After that, after I started rough training, I told myself that I would never work for somebody again. I'm going to help people and I will never work for somebody again. And it's 2027 years later and I'm still here. Obviously it has a lot of challenges with that, like any other business owner, but I am here. And later down in the interview, we'll get a little more in depth of it, but that's how rough training started.
Wow.
Good stuff.
So you guys, both of you guys' story has some kind of challenge, but it's from different perspectives, right? I mean, Hilroy has been doing it for slightly longer than Katian, but what were some of the challenges you guys encountered at first, right? So because I mean, for myself, right, like Katian said, one of the things that always happens to me is I go through this like a week or two of like, yo, I gonna hit the gym, I gonna do this, I gonna do that, and then within like then the next day I go to work and somebody say, hey, we buying pizza, and you're like,
I'm that.
something. But having the disciplines, what was some of the toughest things to start off, that you guys encounter personally, each of you?
What in regards to getting?
In regards of getting the motivation to start, working out and stuff like that.
Well, for me and for I don't think every journey is different, but I think on a fitness and weight loss journey, one of the biggest issues is the ability to apply delayed gratification, right? Because it's a long process. It's a long process, and one of the things that you actually need is patience, and that proved very early on that's why I wasn't succeeding in my previous attempts at bettering myself, fitness and weight loss. Delayed gratification in the sense that having the ability to hold off on instant gratification, or having enough willpower or self-control to put something that you think you should have right now and save whatever that you're going through, knowing that in the long run that gratification will be bigger, right? So for instance, in the sense of doing a weight loss journey, like you said, pizza, right? There are always going to be temptations. There always going to be temptations. As a matter of fact, the things that are not good for us on a fitness or wellness journey are readily available. They always there, as compared to the things that we need to nourish our bodies on a health basis. Those things are expensive and they're not within reach. They're not readily accessible. So let's say you had a Christmas party and everything there is like all goodies and sweets and stuff, things that okay, 2 weeks ago I started this journey and I said to myself, I'm not going to have any of that. And then you see them pass and you say, boy, freaking brownies, boy, that's my favorite thing. You mad later for that. But having the ability to not feed yourself that instant gratification and know that if I don't eat this now, I put myself on a better path, to achieve the goal that I set for myself, right? So that in itself is a challenge. And more than anything, that was my struggle. And with my clients, I say it all the time, the ability to not grasp or get satisfaction in the now and know that if I don't do this now, it is a better opportunity for me in the long run. It's it's for me that was the biggest struggle, and it's a thing that I'm still learning. Obviously, those opportunities for instant gratification will always present itself, right? You always gonna have pizza, you always gonna have McDonald's, or you're driving home and from work and you're hungry, and what do you see? It's always fast food on your way home, right? Like, I ain't gonna go home and go make a salad. I'm not gonna go home and then cook when I can just literally grab some Chick-fil-A right there, right? But it's about the discipline and then training your mind to know that, nah, I want something greater. Yes, this will satisfy me right now, but how does that help me in my course or in my in my goal to be better in the world? So yeah, that in its that for me and for, as I see in many of my clients, is the biggest challenge.
What about you, Hilroy?
Just to touch on what something Kathy said there, it comes down to the discipline. I mean, you could sugarcoat it all you want. It really comes down to the discipline, knowing the objective, knowing the goal that you want for yourself. I mean, 98% of persons know what they want or what they want to do. They just don't want to work hard for it. You know,
Yeah.
people like things easy. You know, I mean, I'm sure if I put out a package right now that says a free summer body and guaranteed abs in 2 weeks, everyone gonna jump on it because it seems easy, you know. But if I put a boot camp, you're gonna work, you're gonna sweat. SEAL training, military, everyone gonna be like, boy, you know, just knowing that, you know, being able to work for something hard and getting it easy, you know, that balance, knowing what you want, you know, it comes to the discipline of the individual. But seeing that Kathy touched on the personal challenges from the business, for me, it was, I'm very business oriented, as you can see. So I mean, like, when I started with rough training, obviously I'm a full-time trainer. This is my job. This is what I do. It's my career. So thinking about it as from the business perspective, convincing people of your brand, your knowledge, what you're selling, that was the challenges. Because I mean, when I started in Angola, I was the youngest trainer. I mean, obviously, personal training wasn't as popular as it is like now. Like, I mean, now the industry is very saturated and everyone is a personal trainer, you know. But back then, when I started, it wasn't so much so. So, you know, a young guy coming in, not from the island, you really have to convince people. And the best way to convince people is to know your stuff, you know, knowledge, educate yourself, you know. And I never got complacent with just being a personal trainer, you know, just having that title. So that's why I moved on. Like, I studied in ISSA, International Sports Science Association, and it ranks from personal trainer to master trainer. So I did my personal trainer certification. Then I did exercise sport. I'm specialist in exercise sport therapy. Then I did specialist in sports nutrition. Then I did specialist in strength and condition, specialist in bodybuilding. So I did all these specifications, and now I'm currently ranked as an elite trainer. This is 2 certifications away from a master trainer, you know. So I still on the journey for my master trainers. You know, but work gets in the way of that. And the reality of it is studying, running a business, trying to think of ways to be innovative, creative, you know, selling your brand. That right there is a challenge by itself, you know, apart from the personal journey. I mean, if you're knowledgeable about your craft, like, for example, I know about fitness, I know about weight loss, I know about weight gain. Using myself, I am my biggest selling product. You know, for example, you see me, then you will know, okay, he can get his body like that. 9 times out of 10, he can get mine to how I want it to. You know, so you have to play the part. And I held myself accountable for that. I mean, I had to look the part at every time I step out of the house. You know, I have to look like a trainer. I have to speak like a trainer. I have to act like a trainer. Even now, like, I go to the supermarket and people see my cart and they be looking in my cart to see what I have, you know what I mean? I'm a regular person. I eat, like, you know, I have a balance, but just because they see me. So when they see me, they know, okay, Hilroy, fitness oriented. Let me see what he's eating. People just stop me all the time. What do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? You eat pizza? Yes, I eat pizza. Of course I eat pizza. I drink juice too. I do all the stuff that a regular person does. But like, it's like Kathy said earlier, it's a balance, you know, knowing what you have to know your body also. You know, genetics plays a very serious part in, you know, your body, and you have to know your body. And that takes time, understanding, you know, but you have fitness professionals that can help you with that journey. You know, like, I had to do it the harder way. I was my experiment, you know, I was my lab rat, you know, so I had to play with myself, find out what works for me, find out if this approach is better, find out if that approach is better, if this supplements work better, if this diet plan works better, calorie counting, all the different stuff to really come up with a formula that I can use for overall, that kind of way. Yeah, so it's a lot of challenges, like from the business aspect to the personal aspect, because you are the brand, you are the business. It's not like you have employees and you give them a list of tasks to do for the day, and they check each one. You are the business. There's no opportunity for failing. If you understand what I'm saying, I cannot decide to let myself go and become obese and come back on your show and speak about fitness and expect people to be motivated by my journey. I have to live the part. You have to see me 24 hours a day, 365, and know Hilroy is a fitness professional. Not boy, Hilroy was going through something at home. He let himself go. He put on 50 pounds. He depressed. He putting roll on under his arm. What wrong with Hilroy? I have to. So it's a lot of pressure. You hold yourself accountable for everything. And I mean, eventually, Kat will get there. I mean, she's very smart. And when you are when you reach to there is no turning back. Like for me right now, there is no turning back. I can't send an application to apply for a job. I can't do that. That's regress. In life, you have to progress. 7 years I've never worked for anyone. I have multiple contracts with the biggest hotels in Angola, but there is no stepping back for me. I gave everything into my career, everything I have. So there is no stepping back. There is no pause button. I don't want to be a fitness professional. I want to be a doctor. I can't do that. I gave everything into my career, and I am what you see.
So Kat, this question is for you because Hilroy has already let us know that this is what he does full time. We here at Talk the Ting, we do our research on our guests. We don't just ask you to send a bio. So you actually do have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I think we can still safely say that fitness training is not just a side hustle for you, like something you do to make some extra money. It's also something that you're passionate about. And so we're just wondering, like, has the thought come to mind to just let go and just go all in?
Yes, of course it has. It has. It may not be my main. I may not do it full time, but it is me. Like nobody sees me anymore and not see FitCat Bar. Everything I put out there is about my fitness journey and my business.
Yeah.
So yes, I've thought about it. Like I said, this is my 3rd year on my journey. It's a work in progress, and we'll get there. To piggyback on education wise, I am NASM certified. It's the biggest fitness certification in the USA. It's National Academy of Sports Medicine. I had to do, I think, 6 months of courses, and then sit the exam. I also did an American Council on Exercise certification in group fitness as a group fitness instructor. So I'm also certified in that. And I do in the summertime boot camps and soccer fit, park fitness, and all of that good stuff. But there it might be, there could be in the near future what Katian does for actually full time. So yes, to answer your question, yes, I have thought about that. I haven't committed to fitness, to part of my business being my full, doing it full time, but it's full time enough. Like all I do is, for now, all I do is fitness. My lifestyle is a lifestyle of that, like, because that's what fitness is. It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you do today and get tomorrow. In order for you to be successful with like Hilroy say, you have to look the part, right? So it's not a today I'm fit, tomorrow I'm not kind of journey. It's this is me. This is who I am for the last 3 years, and it will be. There's no turning back for him in application, but there's no turning back for me being fit or being doing what I do, fitness. There's no turning back for me. I can't come this far because I know what I looked like before. And some of you follow me on Instagram, you've seen what I look like after having my son, right? With that C-section pouch. There's no going back from like, no. to get to where I am now for there to be. This is my lifestyle.
So that's a good point you bring up there, right? So I wanted to ask primarily, well, Katian, about the journey, well, especially after you had your kid, right? I mean, after you had your son, because I've always heard that for women, it's slightly tougher to lose the weight, I guess, after you have a baby or whatever it is. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. I'm not a fitness person. That's for you guys to answer. But I'm just asking in terms of the challenges you had after you had your son, because, I mean, my mother had 4 kids and my mother working out all the time, you know what I'm saying? And she never put on weight, but, she's still doing her thing. So, how difficult was that after you had your son? And I mean, I know your son is about 6 or 7 now, so, about halfway through his life, but how difficult was that for you?
To be quite honest, I don't think, in my own opinion and through my education, I don't think there's an easier for women or men to. Fitness is a science. You have to put in the work to get results. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, right? For me, rehabbing a kid, it's more about first identifying what, especially for the midsection, what is causing the bulge, right? Because some people never work out and they, after having a baby, they snap, like Hilroy said, there's genetics. Genetics also come to play, right? Snap right back like they never had a kid. I had a C-section that left me with a pouch. From what I heard, it would never go away, right? That they had cut the muscle to take my son out, and then now there's a scar, for me and throughout my journey and what I've seen with my clients, the one thing that might cause a little trouble for a mom is erectile diastasis, like with ab separation, right? Because there are some workouts that you cannot do before you do any building of your ab. You have to close ab separation. Like basically after growing your baby, the stomach walls, the two front ones, the front muscles, they separate, and there's a gap there. Because of that gap, now you have a bulge. Right? So if anything, where the struggle is for a mom would be, if you do have this recti, would be to close that gap before starting to even work on, shaping up your midsection. Because without doing exercises to close that, you might run in the risk of losing weight everywhere, but that belly never really goes down because of the separation. So that's where I would probably see the struggle being a little more difficult for a mother. However, you put in work, results is gonna show. It's consistency. No matter if you're a guy, if you're a girl, consistency yields results, and that's the bottom line of this.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting to know for a lot of our female viewers.
But
And some of our male did their belly
touch
too.
what some of Kat said on the question with the female weight loss versus the men journey. For women, it's a little different because women have a lot to consider in terms of hormones, pH balance, it's a lot of different things they have to consider, and those things can slow down your weight loss journey. I mean, if you think of weight loss and weight gain, losing weight is simple. People make it very difficult and complicated, but weight loss is, if you're in a deficit, you're going to lose weight, and if you're in a surplus, you will gain weight. Deficit means you burn more calories than you consume, and surplus is you can consume more calories than you burn. So if you understand it like that, then it's easy. But obviously, if you have someone with a woman, most women, with off cycles, hormonal cycles, off hormonal cycles, simple things like that, for a woman that we don't experience, can, play with their weight loss journey. For a simple example is their cycle. Me weighing a client on her cycle, she'll naturally be heavier. She's bloated. She's retaining water. So things like that can really mess with a woman weight loss journey, because to see that you worked hard all month and then you go on the scale a wrong time of the month and the scale tells you you're heavier, that can really mess with you, because even if it's consistency, you want to have some sort of motivation. You're working towards an objective and you have to have some sort of motivation, and that right there can kill your motivation. And that can force you to stop. You have to be very disciplined to continue doing something without no drive, without nothing pushing you, especially when you don't have a trainer or something like that. So for the persons and like women that are doing it on their own, like that's something that they have to consider, their timing of weighing. Like stay away from the scale. Like I always tell people that average people, people doing hardly, you do your laundry every single week. And I can guarantee you, most people, we wear the same clothes all the time. We have huge closets, tons of clothes, but we wear the same clothes all the time, which means you know how your clothes fit all the time.
Yes.
You can gauge your weight loss journey from just your clothes. Every time you see me, most times I am in fitness gear. So if Kathy put on her leggings and she realized, boy, my leggings are a little slack, is it that she buy the leggings from China or she lose some weight? So simple things like that you could use. The scale makes you paranoid. The scale makes you paranoid. I force people to stay.
I tell my clients photos, because for me, nothing helped me realize my progress as much as photos did. And it's hard to get my clients to take day one photos. It's very difficult. And I get it. I understand it. Because I snap a selfie and I take photos and I ask me to take my picture when I look my best. Right?
You're right.
So that's what photos represent, right? Oh my God, look at me, I'm looking good. So to ask someone to take a photo when the photo itself is going to expose the mere things that they don't like about themselves.
Yeah.
Right? That's hard. That's difficult. I've had clients call me crying. I hate this. I can't send you this. I can't. This is so discouraging. Oh my God, I hate what I see. And I get it. But I always say, no matter how hard it is, take it. Don't send it to me if you really don't want to, but keep it. Because as you go on this journey, as you go along, you will, like right now, I search every day for photos. Nothing makes me happier than searching in my phone for photos before 2017. Like, look at this, So I think that if you stick to it, if you find the willpower to continue on this journey, you're gonna want to see that picture. And look what I did, And when the scale might not show a difference from your initial weight to, let's say, 1 week in or 2 weeks in, those photos will, because inches are dropping, right? Inches are falling off. And in essence, most workouts are designed for you to build your muscle, to develop your muscle while you lose weight, while you lose
muscle burns fat. The more muscle, more muscle capacity you have, the more fat you'll burn.
So the scale might not change. I currently weigh more than I did before my weight loss journey, believe it or not. My body composition is totally different.
So different, her muscle masses went up,
Hey, throw away the scale. I said that just this morning I had a conversation with a client. I did not lose any weight. It's my second week. Throw that scale away.
Stay away from the scale. I tell that to my clients all the time. The scale makes you paranoid.
It's discouraging.
That's an interesting concept. I never thought of that, because pretty much everything I've kind of gotten it like, weigh yourself this week, then weigh yourself the other week. Then
I would never do that. I would never even ask someone to weigh yourself every week. That's just depressing. I mean, if you want to go by science and you're on a really good 3-to-1 nutritional diet, you can lose about 2 pounds a week on a safe diet, no supplements. 2 pounds a week. Most people don't think of it like that. Most people expect when they go on the treadmill for 5 days a week, they expect to see 10 pounds when they go on the scale. That's just a reality. If I tell you, Hadley, start to train with me, Friday, you're gonna see 2 pounds. That doesn't sound convincing. That doesn't sound convincing. 2 as a number doesn't sound convincing. So that right there, and I mean, that is if you're really on a very good nutritional plan. You're doing your serious workouts. You're burning those calories. You can lose up to 2 pounds a week. And I mean, it can be more. But I'm just saying baseline. Nothing crazy. It can be more, but baseline you can start with 2. So if you go on a scale and you don't see that, right there, your motivation is gone. And you need to have something to keep you going. You need to have something to keep you going.
I also want to say that on this journey, setting realistic goals is paramount to sticking to this, because like he was said, if you want to set a goal for yourself and you just started your fitness journey, I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, I want to lose 10 pounds by this week, and you don't lose that up, very rarely that you lose that 10 pounds in that 1 week. It has happened. It has happened, but it's very rare. And then when you get on that scale at the end of that 1 week or that 2 week that you set that goal for yourself, you like, after all this salad I ate, all this veggies, all this water, and I didn't lose. But your goal was unrealistic to begin with, right? So you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, correct.
You have to set, one of the very important things is setting reasonable goals for yourself.
Yeah,
and 2 pounds, like you said, 2 pounds is great. Because you guys have, you need to, I show my clients, I found pictures of what 5 pounds of fat look like. Because I've had clients tell me I only lost 5 pounds. And I'm like, do you know what 5 pounds of fat is? You know what it looks like?
Show them sugar, show them rice. Let them understand what 5 pounds of rice is. In Dominica, we sell 5 pounds of rice. In the US, they maybe don't do it.
Right.
But in Dominica, we sell those things.
No, I have a question. I have a question for you guys. So, especially Katian, because I mean, you live in New York, and what I've noticed is, you know, we get into this hustle and bustle, and I don't know if Hilroy experienced the same kind of thing in Anguilla, because the Caribbean for the most part a little more laid back, but the hustle and bustle of, hey, you know, it takes me an hour to get to work, it takes me an hour to get home, you know, I have to watch my son, I have to prepare stuff for tomorrow, I have to do this, I have to do that, and finding the time, right, in amongst all of that, to still work out, right, or to make sure that, I mean, you're eating healthy throughout the day, and you know, those kind of things. I mean, starting with Kati, and then Hilroy, you could jump on.
Yeah,
What is some of the most difficult things that you've experienced in that aspect?
So say time, right? You say time, and I'm sure Hilroy hears it all the time. Clients like to say, "I don't have time." But
I think of it as priority.
Yeah, that's an excuse, because I always I was one of those who said, I don't have time. But in life, Dwayne and Hadley, we make time for what we want.
That's true.
We make time for what we want. So I didn't have time. I didn't have a boyfriend at the time. And to this day, my boyfriend lives in the Poconos. It was Ethan and I. Like, where am I gonna find time to work out? I have to drop Ethan off to daycare or school in the morning, and then on my way to work, get to work, hustle back from work to pick him up, right? And then to make it in time and then go home. Where am I gonna find time? Well, I found time. Well, after I picked Ethan up from work, that time that I sat to watch, I watched General Hospital, don't judge me, to watch my soap opera.
No judging here.
Don't judge me. My soap opera or whatever reality show that I would watch at the time, like Housewives or whatever. Like, I sit on the couch, and watch those shows. That's okay. That is time. That could play while I do some squats. That could play while I run in place. That could play while I do something. And that's what I did. For the first 4 months of my own personal journey, I found time, because there is time. I saw somewhere that it says a 1 hour workout is only a 1 hour workout is 4% of your day, something to that effect. And it stuck with me. Like, you make time for what you want. And then as I progressed on my journey, and I realized I needed the gym, because I wanted to lift, you know, some more. And there's so much dumbbells or kettlebells that I could store in my little New York apartment. And I went to the gym. I'm like, when am I going to go to the gym? And you know, when I go to the gym to this day, well, gyms are closed. I go to the gym on my lunch break, because that's time. I am allowed to eat at work on the clock. So guess what? I maximize that. I eat on the clock, and on my hour lunch break, I go to the gym, because that's the time that I could do it. So time, to me, not having time, I mean, we have busy lives. We all do. But saying you don't have time is an excuse, plain and simple. That's how I see it. Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we find time in life. We find time for the things that we want.
And if you look at it from a different perspective, there is only one Dwayne George, one in the entire world. Billions of people, there's only one. If you don't make time for Dwayne George, who will make time for Dwayne George? If you cannot afford to make time for yourself, do you really think that someone should really take time out of their life to make time for you? You have to make that initial step. You have to, and it comes down to what we spoke about before, the discipline, knowing your objective, knowing your goal. You have to love yourself more than anything else. You know, there is no one that will love you like how you should love yourself. You have to know what you want, and you have to work towards it. All of us have busy lives. If we take simple stuff like when we finish work, we stop outside and speak to a friend for 20 minutes. Before you know that 20 minutes turns to 30 minutes. On our way, before we reach in our house, our neighbor speaks to us, that's 15 minutes. You add that 30 and 50 minutes, that's 45 minutes. That's a workout. You know, that's a workout. So simple little things that we can do to make time. You don't need to go and dedicate 2 hours a day to go to the gym. You don't have to do nothing crazy. You know, you don't even have to go to the gym. You know, technology has increased. You don't even have to get a trainer. You know, I mean, it's so much different avenues you have right now that it's in your hand. It's given to you, you know, and don't use time as an excuse. You know, don't use time as an excuse. That the child goes to sleep, that little 15 minutes, take up the bottle of water, take up something and work out. You just have to be physically active. You know, do something, get active. Once you get into the groove, it will flow. But you have to make the initial start. You have to love yourself enough to know that I have a goal, I have an objective, and I have a goal, and my objective is to do 15 minutes a day. Eventually, you can work into it. I can make it 20. I could add 5. I can make it 25. I could add if an next 5, make it 30. But it has to start with you. And even something else what I tell people when they tell me about time, if the doctor tells you, Dwayne, you have to exercise because you have be given your lifespan. You have this is wrong with you. You have a disease, something bad. You know. Yeah, I don't want to call a name because I don't know who's on the live, so I don't want anyone to feel like attacking them.
You gotta say what
but I just saying, like, imagine the doctor telling you these things, and I get these calls all the time. And why don't we try to prevent that? Start working out before you get that call. You know, do something before you get that terrible news. Sometimes it doesn't work out in our favor. There are fit people that things can happen to. Yes, I know. You know, it's reality, it's life. But you can avoid certain things. You know, you can avoid some of the chronic diseases, and people don't know that. You know, let me not say people don't know. People don't care. Yes. You know, for example, Hadley and Dwayne are very smart guys, Kat. They know that drinking alcohol is bad for the liver, but see how they start the show. Hadley went to one of the best universities in Maryland with my brother. So I know Hadley has sense. I know Hadley's smart. But
Hadley, why we doing some dead away?
Yeah. I switch over the whole program.
You realize I stopped drinking. I put the drink aside.
If only notice, I haven't got the glass yet, eh?
I'm very glad. So Cats, that means we at least we know we had effect on 2 people tonight.
That's good.
Our objective, we reach our objective.
Go ahead.
So I have this question. So ever since come to the States myself, I lived on campus. Campus food is nothing to talk about. You get that freshman 15 or 25 or 30 or 40. And and I started working, so I joined the gym. And for me, my going to the gym was, go on the treadmill, do some things, go on the leg machine, do some leg work, do some arm works. But at that point, I was just going to the gym. At what point would somebody need a trainer? Because like I was going to the gym and I would see some changes, but nothing like what I actually wanted. So at what point do I have to tell myself, yo, you need help because clearly what you're doing is not enough? So at what point do I come to you, Hilroy?
There's an app called Architect something. And the other day I was just 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, and I was sketching out a plan and so on. And I realized the app gave all the tools I needed to draw a house plan, but I didn't know what I was doing. So obviously I had to call my brother, who is an upcoming architect. You have to reach to a point, you have to be real with yourself. You don't know what you're doing, Hadley. You're trying, right. But in that process, you can injure yourself. I mean, it is beneficial, but if you do it wrong, like anything else, you know, you go to the kitchen, you don't know how to cook, you could cut yourself with a knife. You know, you don't know how to you don't know how to light a stove, you could burn yourself. With everything that you're doing, there's a risk factor to it. And when your risk is higher than your benefit, which you should know, then you should ask for help. And that is why you have platforms that even if we are away now that you can, you know, contact, you can have online training, you can log onto my website, Rough Training AI, roughtraining.ai, and I have online programs. You can check that out. I'll post it in the link later. But, you know, there's a lot of help, a lot of access to help that you can get. And you should not be afraid to ask a question. You should not be afraid to seek help, you know?
And I think that is the problem with a lot of us, where we feel like, yeah, I'm going to the gym, but we never get the confidence to ask somebody for help. You know,
Yeah, but that's just not with the gym. That's just with life. You know, everyone feels they know everything, you know, so we are afraid to ask questions. We're afraid to say, I don't know how to do this. Help me. Help me, I think, is like a bad word for us. You know, I don't want to categorize us as and say black people, but us. Help me. It's hard to say. It's hard for us to say, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I don't, it's an egotistical thing that we have inside of us that we are afraid to say, help me.
It's a culture thing that tells us so much about being self-sufficient and independent.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, you know, if I don't know something, I take pleasure in asking, help me. I don't know, because I personally feel and sound very stupid speaking or doing something I don't know about. You know, and that's how I felt when I was doing the plan. I felt very stupid because even though they had a whole tutorial from the side, I don't know what this rendering and all this nonsense was. I hardly would know those because I don't know what these things is. So I felt very stupid, and that's why I had to seek help. And I don't have any problem with saying I don't know. Help me. You know, and we at some point you just have to realize, turn off the ego, especially men. We have very strong egos, myself too. But at some point you have to realize, like, the risk is high. It's tied on the benefit. I need to ask for help. I'm not going anywhere. This is not working for me. You know, I have to ask for help to, you know, to be productive.
Hadley, you answered your own question actually when you said at what point do you realize that you should ask for help? You should ask for a personal trainer. At that very point when you realize that you've been going to the gym for a long while and you're not seeing the results that you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. So that, I'm a whole lot in my back pocket.
Yeah.
So
we'll send your invoice for that later. Cats, remind me.
Right. so here's my other question, and I think that one would go for Kat, because Kat, you're in New York, and you know, we going through the COVID. It's a little bit less restricted in Anguilla. I see Hilroy posting videos of he and his people at the gym. So, you know,
we're
less
COVID free.
COVID free.
We are COVID free, and we are inviting people to come to Anguilla also. So you can come down. When you come down, as you reach to the port, you do your 10 days quarantine, and then you hire a personal trainer. I'll leave my card with the people at the front there.
Nice. So that question will go for Kat.
Yeah.
Kat, for the people who are used to going to the gym and getting their workout and they can no longer do that. Yes, that's for you. That question is for you. You know, they can no longer go to the gym. You know, some people did. How do you, what kind of advice can you give these people to, you know, keep the momentum going at home? Like, what can they use at home to as a form of weightlifting, or what can they do for stretching? And any advice you can give to the person who is at home and want to keep, you know, the workout going?
Well, Hilroy touched on it earlier. You do not need the gym. So pre-COVID, with COVID, you actually do not really need the gym, right? You start where you are with what you have, right? As I said, I did my first 4 months of weight loss and I lost all the weight that I wanted to lose in my own apartment, right? And the most I bought was a pair of bands, a set of bands and some kettlebells. That's all I got. And even now with COVID, you saw, I don't know if you guys see, but the price gouging with dumbbells and anything workout related, it's insane. It's unavailable because everybody wants it, and it's you fill up 2 bottles of water, right? You grab. I have clients in Dominica who don't have access to dumbbells, cannot get it to come into the country. And I send them to fill sand in a bottle of water, put bay sand inside. Just pick up books, right? You grab books and you work with what you have. And body
I
weight
posted. I even posted a video on my Instagram, and I don't know if you saw it hardly, with me using toilet paper and using a broomstick, and you can be
I
creative.
do
You could check it out.
settle it with a band and a broomstick. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
long for the gym. I long for because I got to a point in my own journey where I lift heavy, right? And now I was just saying to this morning that I have to start from scratch again because you have to build strength, right? You have to build endurance, you have to do those things, and you don't use them, you lose them. So I'm pretty sure I can't lift 200 pounds or 300 pounds. I can hip thrust almost 400, and I was doing all of that, right? So I crave the gym, but that's for me on that's not necessary for weight loss, though. That's not necessary
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
right. In your own home, you body weight exercises go a very long way. And again, you start where you are with what you have. You do not need all of this. I mean, they do help, but
Yeah, they're
start off,
beneficial. The variety helps. The variety
yeah.
helps.
So,
Yeah. But
but
it's not an essential. You can do it without. But the
you
variety
certainly
helps the
can.
process.
You certainly can. And it's just a matter of staying active. Because you don't
Yeah.
have weight, you're just gonna watch TV. No, you get on the floor, you do some jumping jacks, you stay active, and you don't need the gym to do that. You don't.
But I have a question though, because we spoke a lot about having the motivation to work out and do all of that. But I've always heard that eating is what, 80 to 85%
80,
of,
20,
80
80,
to
20.
right? 80/20.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know we have to have the discipline and we have to be motivated and all that, but let's be real, right? A lot of people don't necessarily have that. And so in your guys' experience with your clients, how do you convince them or push them to eat right, right? Because I know eating is, because it doesn't matter to me. I mean, as far as I was told, it doesn't matter how much you work out. If you're eating crap, then you're not gonna lose the weight,
Yeah,
right?
you're not gonna lose
So,
weight. Yeah.
right. So, how important is the eating, and how do you guys motivate your clients to, to eat right, or how do you try to motivate them, I should say?
Well, I mean, when it comes to nutrition, the main excuse is always finances. People are in different financial positions, and they always try to compare. Eating healthy is more expensive than eating bad. That is not necessarily true, and obviously that may be on a country by country basis based on the economy and price range. But on average, it's not necessarily true because you can eat for your pocket. For example, I was telling someone the other day, it may seem that okay, a box of macaroni is $3, but and brown rice is $8, but you don't have to do that. You can substitute for something else. Same thing with fish. Someone would say that I like salmon, but salmon is expensive. You don't have to eat salmon. You can buy tilapia. So you can eat healthy for your pocket. But obviously, because we want to go a little above our means when it comes to the eating. And then we want to compare it to eating bad. No, it's you can't compare a box of macaroni to basmati rice or something like that. You have to go on a lower scale. Same thing with fish. Like you can't compare salmon and tilapia. But salmon, if you're trying to lose weight, salmon, tilapia can help you to get there. Just like not salmon. Of course, salmon may have added benefits, omega-3s and so on. But I'm just saying, like, you can eat for your pocket. You don't have to go crazy. We're not telling you to go out and buy mussels and buy all these different this expensive stuff. You can eat for your pocket. So if broccoli is not expensive, what lettuce is not expensive, spinach is not expensive. These things you can mix them up and make a very good salad. Chicken breast, you buy a bag of chicken breast. That's not expensive. What is expensive is eating out. Buying food is expensive. I'm not sure how it is in New York where you guys are right now, but in Angola, a plate of food ranges between $10 and $15. You buy one lunch, you buy one dinner, that's $30. $30 can get you a bag of chicken breast by Merchants Market. So when you add up eating right to eating bad, it doesn't really, it's a bad comparison, because there are cheaper options on both sides. But if you're thinking about it as this is an investment into myself. You don't compare Nike and Gucci or Adidas and Gucci. You look at Gucci as an investment. You want it. It's a luxury. Look at yourself as a luxury. I want this. I am a luxury. So if I have to spend $2 extra into the luxury that is myself, the golden platter, I should not even want to compare that to macaroni or something less. You should be willing, if you're willing to dress yourself the best way, you're willing to pay top money to make yourself look amazing, feel amazing, be amazing. You should be willing to feed yourself the same way. You understand what I'm saying, Dwayne? Like you have to use the same energy, balance it out. Everyone likes nice things. I don't judge people when they say they want to buy Gucci, and that's your prerogative. You're entitled to that. You can do what you want, but use the same motivation, use the same method. You treat yourself like a luxury when you have red bottom shoes, when you have on your nice dress. Cat wearing her crop top summer and she's showing it up. Treat yourself when you walk into the supermarket. Treat yourself like that. Think about the healthy aisle. This is my Gucci. I am the investment. This is me. I want to treat myself like the luxury. You are the best thing ever. You should. And I tell people that all the time, treat yourself like the best thing ever. Love yourself. Understand that you have a goal and you want to reach it. And then you wouldn't have to compare. You wouldn't care about the few extra dollars strawberry is going to cost versus cashews or some nonsense like that. You wouldn't watch that because you know that you are invested into yourself to make yourself the Gucci, to make yourself the Louis Vuitton. So look at it from that perspective. Take out. I really want to break the stigma of eating good is way more expensive than eating bad, and that kind of thing. You need to look at it from a different perspective, a different point of view, and then be able to understand it better.
Yeah, that's good advice out there.
I want to piggyback on. He spoke. Hilroy spoke about the cost, and that is an excuse we hear all the time. But the taste, right? There's also the taste, because I've heard clients say eating healthy is very bland. Like they don't feel satisfied because the broccoli, just water, so that also comes into play, right? They make those unhealthy things very tasty. They taste but we have to learn, if you're on a mission, like Hilroy said, to better yourself, right? Again, the best project that you can ever work on is going to be yourself. That's the best project that you can work on. So if you're invested in yourself, you want to work on you for you, right? Not for anybody else, but for yourself. You have to find ways to make those things tasty, make it palatable for you, because you know what flavors you like, right? You know what, like I eat pretty healthy, but when sees the things that I prepare, I make my stuff look and taste good.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. You gotta be creative.
That's what I need. So I've found ways along the way to make what is healthy for me and may seem like unflavorful. I found a way to put flavors in that I will appreciate and be full from eating, right? Another thing is when you pack your meals with fiber, you don't have space for trash, for things that are not nourishing to your body, right? And we since we were growing up, we heard vegetables and fruits are good for you. They really are. And what they do is they keep you full. They help with your satiety. Like they keep you full and kind of prevent you from wanting to munch, all the time. So I always tell my clients, try to include veggies in every meal that you eat. And that helps you with satiety. Can never say that word, sorry. Yeah. But it's a feeling of fullness, where you feel full, you feel satisfied, and it kind of limits the urge to want to always snack on something. I'm not saying you don't snack. I eat 6 times a day, 5 to 6 times a day. That's what I eat. But you have to be able to make better choices for yourself. Right?
And just to touch on that little piece, then I have to cut you off, Kat. I saw someone in the comments say that tilapia is not good, and they're absolutely right. I use tilapia as a comparison. I used it as a comparison, but it actually isn't. I don't eat tilapia. But I mean, if I had a choice, obviously I would be speaking about don't eat meats on a whole, go completely vegan. But that is a whole different topic again, but just to clarify that part, that you're completely right. Tilapia is definitely not a good cheap.
I can't do the comments.
Yeah. The vegan part of it, I mean, I would like to do it. I haven't done it, but that actually is, if we're talking about healthy way of life, a healthy way of living, that is the best way. Go back to the roots. Animals get protein from plants. So cutting out meat, all you're doing is going to the original source. That's all you're doing. I understand it. And back to Hadley and Wayne and Dwayne drinking the red cap a while ago. I know it, but I just cannot practice it.
Red
you know?
cap.
So I put a name on it.
Hilroy, you don't drink?
No, I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink and I don't smoke. And I mean, I have friends that call me boring and all those stuff. I mean, I'm not knocking people that drink. You could drink occasionally. Everyone can do their thing. Everything is in moderation.
I drink, but I drink
Yeah. Everything is in moderation. You can see the world shut down in 2 days. You enjoy your life. You're supposed to live. If Hadley and Dwayne want to take a little drink before, that's fine. The world shut down. We don't know what happening. Exactly, balance. But yeah, they're absolutely right. The fish I spoke about earlier definitely isn't good.
All right.
And you should be careful of that.
All right, guys. So this 1 hour passes by so quick, and you guys have been given so much advice, and but Hilroy, there's one thing that I wanted to ask you, and something that you do. I'm not sure if it's something that happens every year, but I've seen you travel to the United States with a group of people. I'm guessing that these are people that you work with or you train. Some of them might be your clients, and you come up here and you take part in a competition. Can you expand on that just before we leave?
It's the competition. It's not a competition to say. It's a group oriented event. We went to Atlanta the first year and then Philadelphia the second year. I would believe it was 2015 and 16 or either 16 and 17. I took a group of 12 persons. I actually was the first person in the Caribbean to have a corporate team to join an event like that, an event of such high caliber. But it's 26 miles of just mud and obstacles in the worst terrain. Trust me, Hadley, it was really, really hard. I mean,
26 miles.
26
yeah,
miles.
Especially like coming from the Caribbean, where it's one climate all the time. That cold and hot thing was, I had one of the obstacles where we were jumping in a pool of ice, ice, Hadley, literally ice, and you were climbing down a cage, and to get on the other side, you actually had to go underneath and swim to get on the other side in ice, Hadley. Freezing ice. When you come out, you cannot feel your fingers, you cannot feel your toes, and that's not the end. You still have to keep going, but it's a team-oriented event. So everything is done as a team. You finish as a team. There's no winner, but the satisfaction of joining something like that, traveling to the US, entering and finishing as a team, that right there, you feel like a winner, and we did it 2 years. But initially, my plan was I wanted to bring something like that to Angola. So that's why I wanted to go. Similar to what I talk about in the start. I don't like to do things I don't know about. I can't speak about fitness if I don't know about it, and I can't teach you about it if I don't know about it. So I wanted to go to the event to understand it, to learn about it, and then bring it back to Angola. And I did it 2 times. We did it 2 years. And the first obstacle I did was in January. It's on my Instagram. You guys can check it out on my website too. And this actually was a different scale from what I initially wanted to do, because this guy, he came on vacation and he wanted to fly in. He was making 50, and they contacted me. It was he wanted to do an obstacle course, something big for his birthday, and he flew in 21 of his friends on a private jet, and just for them to enjoy his birthday with him. Like, they didn't know what they was coming for initially. And when I spoke with him, I was like, you want something? What do you want? And he was like, Hilroy, no budget, create something, do what you want. And Hadley, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear, and I really gave them a good time. But I have to factor in, the age and all these little things that you have to factor in when you create an obstacle course. And they had an amazing time. They had a really, really good time. I had similar something to I had a ice pool run. I had monkey bars climbing in over a pool, kayaking, tire flips, log runs. It was a really, really cool event. It was really good. I even had a next obstacle course in, I think, February or March, where for Men's Week, I teamed up with Men's Week and me. That's on my Instagram too. You can check it out. I mean, it did something on a little smaller scale, on the field. We had a wicked mud crawl, a run. We had a egg run where, they held the egg in their hand. They had to climb over a wall. Like it really fun stuff. You have to be creative with these things, to make it fun
Right.
yet challenging, and it breaks the fear barrier, because fear is something that all of us have, and unless we don't tackle it, we don't ever really get to overcome it, you know. So it was a really cool event, I mean, obviously I would love to go to a next Tough Mudder again. I mean, I'm a lot older now. I don't know if my bones can handle that kind of
Oh,
Whatever, man.
I don't know if my bones can handle something like that.
Whatever, man.
But yeah, it was cool for me. It's something I always wanted to do. I used to dream about doing things like these, like dream about traveling the world and doing events and like all these type of things. And I know that I can actually bring these things to light. Hardly is an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling to actually bring these things to light.
That's
Getting
good.
out of your comfort zone. Comfort comfort kills dreams. Comfort kills dreams. That's something I have to say. People become complacent and in whatever position they are. And the biggest thing about being complacent is fear. You know, we have a fear of losing, a fear of failure, a fear of people judging us, a fear of being single, a fear of loneliness, a fear of failing. We have all these things and we become complacent with it. Like, for example, you have a fear of planes, you just wouldn't fly. You have a fear of sharks, you're just not going to go in the sea. And people live their life like that. They become comfortable with that kind of lifestyle. I don't like planes, so I'm just not going to fly. No, you never break that barrier. You have to do things that would be like, shit, I was afraid of this, I did it, I overcome this. Or it could even work out the other way. I was afraid of failing, I failed, and I have to try again. I'm not gonna fail the next time. So you can put it in all kind of ways. And that's one thing that for me that I that separates me. I know separates me from risk, because I'm not afraid of taking risks. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm not afraid of losing. I'm not afraid of much stuff, and that separates me from doing a lot of my success was contributed to that aspect of me. I'm not afraid. I don't think when you could turn off that emotion of fear, being complacent, and that for sure will help you with whatever you want to do.
That's great advice, man. You guys heard it here on Talk the Ting. So before we leave, I want you guys to both, starting with Hilroy, just give us a little bit of where we could find you, where the viewers could find your information. I know you already mentioned your website, but give us your Instagram.
You can find me on
Facebook.
Instagram, Hilly_Ruff, RUFF, and Facebook. You just type in my name, Hilroy Alfred, and I posted my website on the live, www.roughtraining.ai. You can contact me anytime you have any questions. Shoot me a question, shoot me an email, send me a DM. I'm very bad with responding to so many, but I'll definitely try my best to get to you at some point.
Okay. And what about you, Katian?
Instagram. My Instagram is Fit Cat Bar. Literally fit, like Kit Kat Bar, Fit Cat Bar, cat for my name, Fit and Bar. And my website is www.fitcatbar.com. Yeah. Before we leave, I just wanted to give a little bit of advice to anybody that's watching. And the first thing I tell anybody who wants to do this, and they're afraid, is the expert at everything was once a beginner.
Yep.
Right?
Facts.
Facts. Yep.
Expert
Fully
at
agree.
everything. Yeah. If you know me, this wasn't always me. I started off without being able to do half a burpee, and it was my biggest BIT. Like, I hated it. I still don't like it, but I couldn't bring myself back up when I started. I couldn't do half a push-up when I started, right? But with consistency and continuity and self-belief, it's unimaginable what you can do. I couldn't imagine. I never imagined that this would be my path, right? I never imagined that this fitness. First of all, I can't stand to see women who are like, all built, and it's something that we oh my God, Mamzella hard. Oh my God, all that with Mamzella hard. And
One punch
in
and a
my
fella
20s,
flat.
it was one of my biggest fears. Like I was afraid to lift because I had the fear of being stiff or hard. But we have to. We all everybody know their limit, right? Bodybuilders and to look that hard, you know, it's the work that these people have to put in. It's unimaginable. So lifting is not gonna make you hard unless you want to become like that, right? So I just want everybody to know, like as I said, I never imagined that I would be.
I'm glad Kat touched the personal aspect of it, you know, because
Yeah,
that's
I'm
something that people need to know. But
currently,
from even from
I
even from
am.
the business aspect from it, you still have to remember that no one started like Kat say as a if you didn't feel an expert, you know. I went through a long process. I mean, when you go on my website and you read my bio, it didn't start like that for me. You know, I didn't wake up one day and decided, okay, I have this. You know, it was a long process for me. I I was a dishwasher, but when I was washing dishes, I wanted to be the best dishwasher. I I think in 2011, yeah, 2011, I was a dishwasher at Capjaluca Hotel. I went from that to being a food runner at Capjaluca Hotel. I left doing that I left that position. I got a next position to be a bellman at that hotel. Moved on to that. I was a landscaper at that hotel. You know, after that, they laid me off and I was working at, I was doing they had like beach picnics kind of thing, beach buffets. And it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I was making $80 a month from that, just doing that. You know, it takes a process. It takes a long time to doing that. You know, when I was a bartender, I was bartender of the year. So every single thing I did, whether it was even now, you know, like recently, maybe 2 months ago, I bought my first piece of land. And now I go on the land and I have my cutlass Hadley and I have my twigs and you know I digging up my trees and I trying to create my my little landscaping. But when I was doing landscaping in Capjaluca, I wanted to learn about landscaping. I wanted to be the best landscaper. Bellman, same thing. Even when I was as stupid as washing dishes, I'm not calling down washing dishes, but as simple as that, something that we call long run, especially just leaving school. And it takes a while. It takes it takes a process to figure yourself out, to figure out what you want to do. But you are your biggest investment. So anybody watching this live right now that even thinking of opening a business or starting and they're afraid of failure, I failed 100 times. I maybe failed more than I had success, to be honest. But the reality of it is I can say that I did a lot. I tried a lot and I'm still going. I mean, now I have one of the biggest fitness companies in Angola. I have contracts with the biggest hotels in Angola. I have multiple events that I host a year. I give a lot back to charity. I have breast cancer walks. I did a lot, and that didn't just come from me waking up one day. That came from me trying, failing, and trying again. It was not no hand. Everything that I have, I work for it, and I am no different from anyone else. I don't consider myself as superior, and if I can do it, I know for sure that anyone can do it. So anybody watching this live, you know what to do.
Okay, so Kat, can you?
Wait.
No, I want you to go.
He took some of my time. Like he
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna try to come back to you. I was gonna come back to you.
Oh, I cut out cut time.
Go ahead, Kat. You get the last word, Kat. Go ahead.
I mean, that's it. Like Hilroy said, the power. We all have the power to change our lives. We all have the power to change our physique. We all have our health, our wellness. All of that is in our hands. And I didn't do anything that anybody else cannot do. I didn't do something that was out of this world. I did something that we all can do if we just believe in ourselves, self-belief and consistency, right? Like I was saying, like 3 years ago, I didn't see myself on that platform. And just late last year, a Bonnie Fit Weekend, which is a Black platform for fitness, which goes to the various states and have a weekend of fitness. And they whatever state that they're in, they ask people in that state to nominate certain fitness people, influencers that they know of, to represent the state in that. And just last December, little old me was chosen to represent as a part of three fitness influencers in New York to represent New York, Very
Yeah, man. Respect, man. Of course. I mean,
Awesome, man.
respect. That's
Yeah,
great.
and that was
That's
supposed to
fantastic.
be in May of this year, but COVID had other plans, so that has been postponed until further notice. So in that event I was gonna host by myself a fitness class. Right, it's a weekend of fitness activities and all of that stuff. So I was going to make this Dominican base. I was gonna bring the bouillon and the soca into
Yeah.
the fitness.
Yeah.
Next
I
year.
was okay. When it comes
Next
along,
year.
I was
Next year we are wrong,
and
man. Next year we are wrong. We are wrong.
Don't leave
yeah,
COVID stop you, no cats.
We're not.
Don't leave COVID
no,
stop you.
not
Next year, hit
supposed
that.
to. I think,
Don't leave that
and
stop
then
you.
just this there's this Mommy Nation is if you look up Mommy Nation on Instagram, it's an organization for Black moms, right? And it's the founder is Sanya Richard Boss. She's a former Olympic gold medalist. She is from Jamaica, but she ran track for USA. So she founded this thing called Mommy Nation, and just an avenue on for Black moms to find resources in any and every aspect of life. And there's a fitness part. And last year I just went on. I came across it and I did the fit challenge and I won one of the weeks. And then this year
That's
it
my
came up,
girl.
I
Yeah,
did it
man. That's
again.
vibes. It's
Then
vibes.
I got a call last week after doing this year's Mommy Nation Fit Challenge, and I'm currently now working with Sanya Richard
That's
Ross.
good.
Oh
That's
wow,
vibes.
That's some
That's
good vibes there,
vibes.
man.
nice.
Yeah,
Vibes.
the workouts that she will use going forward in her Fit Mommy Challenge.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's about
That's
believing in
vibes.
yourself and putting yourself out there and making your
Investment. Yep.
perfecting your craft. I'm not saying that mine is perfect, but it's a work in progress, and it's a matter of embracing, what you can do, and understanding that you your own limit. Like there's nobody could stop you. Like
Yeah.
it's you versus you. Your big competition is yourself. You should always aspire to be better than yourself. And comparing yourself to other people is a no-no. The only person you should compare yourself to is you. And you
It's
should
you.
strive at all times to be a better version of yourself.
Of yourself.
All
I
right,
agree.
All right.
nice.
Okay,
No.
guys. So there you have it. Some great advice on fitness, taking care of your physique. Being determined, not stressed, not pressuring yourself too much, but just getting the workout in and getting the exercise in, and also a little advice on eating habits. But this is the end of tonight's episode. We would like to remind you guys that today was sponsored by Colin XP, Musical Therapy with Colin XP.
I'm on there on the Zoom every Sunday. You can see me.
Oh,
Yeah, we seen you,
Oh, yeah,
right?
we've seen you. Just a little reminder, if you want to get in contact with Kat, you could check her out at www.fitcatbar.com, FITKATTBAR.com, and you could check out Hilroy at www.roughtrainingai, www.rufftraining.ai. And to our listeners, our viewers, we would like to thank you guys again. We will not forget you guys ever for coming on and listening and viewing and participating and commenting in our weekly episodes. And to our guests, we want to say thank you. As Dwayne said earlier on at the beginning of this episode, next week will be our last episode for the season. And with that being said, Dwayne is going to introduce you guys to next week's episode. It's another double guest episode. So go ahead. Take it away, Maestro.
Caller, you live.
You
Right,
live.
so-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller. All right, so next week we'll be having an episode on leadership, and specifically women in leadership. We're gonna have two women.
Powerful topic.
We're gonna have two women who are top level managers at a large utility firm in New York. It's gonna be Nicole Roberts and Catherine Lewis. It's going to be very, very interesting. So we hope you guys tune in next week, 8 o'clock Wednesday evening, and we'll be having a very interesting conversation with those two women. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight, and have a
Thanks
good
for
night.
All right.
Bye.
All right.